Today's throwback, we're having a look at the NECA Cult Classics Hall of Fame, Michael Myers. Or as many collectors will also refer to this one as, is the Bob Sheet, Michael Myers. Sporting the sheet made famous when after he dispenses Bob downstairs in the kitchen. This figure is essentially a re-release of the Evolution of Evil 2-pack that came along with the young Michael Myers. This is also the same figure that was also packaged with the exclusive Dr. Loomis, was packaged in the Night He Came Home box set. The only thing that they've done differently, and the only thing with a lot of the Cult Classics Hall of Fame figures, they take the existing figures that we've seen before and they find different ways to change up what you get with it. With the new Nightmare Freddy, for example, the Cult Classics Hall of Fame came with everything from the new Nightmare Freddy, but also gave us a swappable head. In this case, we get the inclusion of Bob's sheet added on top of the existing Michael Myers that we've seen before. Spot wanted to go back and have a look at some of the older figures that he had a look at on his channel many years ago, and also it's Halloween, so I thought it's perfect time to go back and revisit some of these old, still classic figures that, you know what, I think hold up still well to this day. When you get him out of packaging, some of the accessories that he'll come included with is the pumpkin, which is the same pumpkin that we've gotten with the Night He Comes Home, and also the Evolution of Evil. In all three cases, it does light up, though, yeah, this one does not light up anymore. Or I think one of them, it might have been the Evolution of Evil. No, I think it was actually this one here. Might have not had the light up feature available. They might have taken it completely out, whereas the Night He Came Home had it. And I think the Evolution of Evil came with it too. But there's a little peg hole on the bottom because that would have been sitting on the porch of the little house diorama that came with the Night He Came Home. So that's why that's there. There's also a couple of the battery plate on the back with a single screw. So you get the same pumpkin. That's okay. Another thing to make a return is his classic butcher knife. Same knife also to come packaged with the Evolution of Evil. And again, also I think the same knife that came with the Night He Came Home as well. Before we have a look at Michael, let's have a look at him with the Bob sheet on. Again, if you remember, he comes in, Linda's in bed, asks where her beer is, and Bob is just standing at the door. Until she finally calls, gets on the phone, and Bob creeps up, or Bob creeps up from behind. Turns out to be Michael. It's creepy that in the movie he would have had the sheet over his head, and then still went ahead and put Bob's glasses over top. So that's kind of a nice touch. The sheet itself is less fabric, as you could probably guess it. It's sculpted, but it's more of a plastic. It's more like a rubbery plastic than anything else. If you already had the other two Michaels, there's really absolutely no reason why you would display him not without the sheet. That when I have him displayed, if I'm going to I keep the Evolution of Evil, Night He Came Home, those have their respected displays. Bob Sheet, I'll keep this on the Cult Classics Hall of Fame version of him. Just as a comparison, let's reach off and show you guys. There is the Evolution of Evil Michael. And we'll put him right there. Stay. Let's go ahead and take Bob's sheet off. And there is the Michael from Bob's sheet. Now, one thing with the two differences between the two, the eyes. The eyes on one kind of look a little wonky. This one, I think, is the better of the two than this one right here. The hair is also a little bit darker. And you know what? Now that I think about this, it's funny actually. Now that I think about it, I think this might have been the original Evolution of Evil Michael. And this one here was the Cult Classics Hall of Fame. The reason why I say that is because the skin color or the mask color is slightly richer on this one than on this one. And I think what I ultimately did was, because this one is going to be displayed with Bob's sheet, I think I actually ended up I played swapsies. I just switched them around. So really, in actual fact, this one should have been the evolution of Evil with the lighter brown hair. And I believe this one here was the Bob sheet that had the darker hair. I'm not 100% certain. You can see the differences also between the two. This one has a little more, it has a lighter color to his jumpsuit, his mechanic's suit, whereas this one has a darker wash in the little crevice areas. This one just doesn't seem to pop as well as this one, which is, again, this is why I think this one was the Cult Classics Hall of Fame version of Michael. But there's just something off on the mask on this one. Like, it seems like even his eyes are like way up here instead of being further down, whereas this one seems a little more lined up and a little more proper. There's the backs of them. When it comes to his articulation, again, it's not quite the same figure, but you know what? In the way of articulation, his head does rotate all the way around. It's got that ball joint there. He's got the hinged shoulders, which rotate all the way around. And again, some caution should be made for these. As mentioned with the other video, these use clear pegs. And my young Michael already has a broken arm. Luckily, these Michaels don't yet. But he does have a rotation in the elbow area there. He also has a rotation in the wrist. No waist swivel, but he does have a rotation in the foot there. Yeah, I think now that I think about it, this one actually was the original Evolution of Evil pack, and the Bob sheet, or the Cult Classics Hall of Fame, it was actually this one after all, because this one I just ended up covering because, you know, you weren't really going to see Michael underneath anyways, that I thought the better Michael was this one that I keep out on display with young Michael. So there you go. In actual fact, Spot was wrong. That's why we like to do little throwbacks, because it gives me a chance to go back and revisit some of the figures that we had a look at before. Today's throwback we were having a look at, which I guess ended up being this one right here. But we're looking today at the NECA Cult Classics, the Hall of Fame, or Bob's sheet version of Michael Myers. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more toy spots heading your way, and more throwbacks, of course, heading your way as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.